Which of the following must be considered while measuring occurrence of a disease? That is, number of people affected by the disease, population size from which the case of a disease arises, and the length of the time the population is followed. Incidence is the most useful for evaluating the impact of a prevention program. High cure rate and high case fatality can reduce the prevalence of a disease. The measures of disease frequencies are incidence and prevalence. A measure that reflect of an acute infectious disease is case fatality ratio. Incidence rate can be used to measure the occurrence of a disease with gradual onset. That is not a true statement. Okay. This measure reflect the impact of a disease on a population in terms of death. That is disease-specific mortality. While measuring the frequency of a chronic disease in a community in terms of incidence per 1,000 persons per year and point prevalence per 1,000 persons, what is expected pattern of incidence and prevalences? High prevalences, low incidences. In a study among 3,400 children aged 5 to 10 years, 16 children were diagnosed with autistic disorder. Calculate the prevalence of autism per 100, that is 4.7. Statistics used to determine the risk of an acquiring a disease, that is the incidence. What is the appropriate measure when a researcher wishes to know the burden of a particular disease in terms of the number of death causes in a specified geographical region and population? That is disease specific mortality. If a health policy makers want to evaluate the impact of a prevention program, which is the appropriate measure of to be considered incidence. Prevalence of a disease will increase when it has a low cure rate. The case fatality ratio is the appropriate epidemiological measure to determine the severity of an acute disease. The cumulative incidence is also otherwise known as attack rate. Attack rate. So the following condition tends to increases the prevalence of a particular disease. Low case fatality ratio. The numerator has a number of new cases in a true sentence about an incidence density. And high cure rate reduces the prevalence of a particular diseases. Proportion of foot ulcers in diabetes prevalence is an appropriate measure of disease frequency. Thank you.